Hi everybody, very welcome to Mentour and just another video podcast. As always, I hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. Today on the podcast, guys, I'm going to be showing you, after popular demand, my new additive to the car park, my latest Porsche. Right guys, so those of you who have been following the channel for a while know that about 2 years ago I sold my Porsche 911 4S. Okay, it was an absolutely lovely car. This is a 997. All bells and whistles, beautiful car. I sold it for a couple of reasons. Mainly, I had stopped using it as much as I wanted to. Okay, the sole reason for me having a Porsche in the first place was to really enjoy the driving characteristics of it. And what ended up happening was that it was just too much money to have in the garage. I found myself not wanting to drive it when the weather was forecasted to be bad, or when I was going somewhere where I wasn't sure to find a parking place, stuff like that. So I sold it, and since I sold it, I've been driving my wife's Clio from 2001. So that didn't work. All right, that didn't work. So I needed something fun to drive. I love driving good cars, and I loved Porsche. Okay, so I started looking for an alternative, and what I came up with was this little beauty right here. So this is a Porsche 987 Boxter S. All right, it is the equivalent of the 997, but as a Boxster. It sports a fantastic flat 6 mid-engine with 280 horsepower. This is the first generation of the 987. There's a second generation as well, where the engine was slightly upgraded. I think they did some upgrades as well to the interior of it, but essentially more or less the same car. It's a fantastic car. All right, I haven't driven a cab before, but I have to say, after having driven this thing, that it's really fun. It's just pure fun. All right, so let's see what it can do. Right, so you might be asking yourself, how can you go from a 911 4S to a Porsche Boxster S? And the answer has to do with what I was telling you before. Now, I wanted a car that I could drive to work every day, right? A car that I could truly enjoy, that I didn't have to worry that much about, but that still gave me the kind of driving pleasure that I was looking for. Now, the Porsche Boxster S is a perfect substitute for that. Granted, it only has 2 seats, but to be perfectly honest, I kind of drive this thing myself anyway. Since it's mid-engine, it means that the handling characteristics of it is absolutely fantastic, and it is, fuel consumption pretty much the same as in the 911. To be honest, it's about 10 liters per 100 kilometers or so. Well, that's mixed driving. It's probably much more when I'm driving it the way I want to drive it, but the fact remains that this car gives me exactly what I want from a car, which is it's quick when you want it to, it handles beautifully, you can go wherever you want with it, and it's literally half the price from the 911, which means that you don't really have to feel like you are going to die if something happens to it, or that if you have to bring it into the garage, that is going to cost you an arm and a leg. So this car is giving me exactly what I want, and it's still an absolutely gorgeous car, and the mid-engine just makes it so fun to drive. So guys, if you have a chance to get yourself a Porsche, I highly recommend the Boxster. I've been driving it for a week, well, it's almost 2 weeks now, and I love every second of it. Actually, I enjoy driving this more than I ever enjoyed driving the 911. you Porsche fans out there, the 911 fans, are probably sneering at me right now, but this is the way I feel, and I always do things the way that I feel is right. And side note, my wife probably loves this car even more than I do. So guys, like I said, just go for your dreams. You know, this is what I'm trying to tell you all the time, that I felt like I wanted to have a new car. I felt like I wanted this car. I could afford it. I checked it, and so I bought it. If I feel like I don't want this car, like like what happened with the 911, then I'm going to sell it, and it's not going to be that much big of a deal. You know, it's going to be an excellent part of my life for a while. We'll see how long I'll keep it, but the fact is, I love it right now. I think I'm going to continue to love it for quite a while, and I'm going to take it for a spin now if you want to come along. Now, when it comes to the interior, guys, it is almost identical to the 911. All right, navigational system is kind of a little bit dated maybe for today's standard, but it works perfectly fine. I love the white dials it has. The steering wheel is nice, is apt. I went for the 6-speed manual gearbox just because I like manual gearboxes, and yeah, it has everything that you really want from a car like this. If you want to put the roof up, you can do that up to 50 kilometers per hour. Works like this, and you're inside, and it's very, very quiet. You have to lock this thing in place, and that's it. Now, you know, you're driving a car with a roof, which is great. But I have to say that to really enjoy this car the most, to hear the engine sound, I prefer it when the roof is off, and I also prefer the looks of it. With the roof up, it looks a little bit, well, it looks more like a Boxster basically, but with the roof down, it looks like a sexy roadster, which is what I was after. So come with me. I just love the way that this car is so balanced. It just sticks to the road like it doesn't want to do anything else. And the way that it sounds when you rev up above 5,000 RPM. This car is not more expensive. It's actually cheaper than buying a new Audi or even a new Ford. You know, if you buy a used one of these, you can find one from 25 up to 50,000 euros, which is really reasonable, especially for the amount of fun that you can have with a car like this. Like it's yeah, it just makes you smile, you know. And I'm all for anything that makes you smile, really. So let's see here. Try to turn around here without making too much of a fuss. Out here on the countryside roads of Catalonia, which is another thing that I highly recommend for you guys. Let's see how that. it's the combination of the 280 horsepower and the torque that this thing has that just makes it so responsive. It just goes whenever you put the foot down, it just goes, you know. It is quick and it's agile and it's sexy and it's fun. It's just one of those things, guys. Like you need to try it out. And you know, the pleasure it is and the privilege it is to be able to be in a position where you can drive a car like this to a job like mine. It's just fantastic. Like I've told you before, guys, what's really important in this world is to realize when something is good, to be grateful for it, you know, not to take it for granted, to think that you always want something better, but to realize that what you have is absolutely awesome. No matter what it is, at every stage of your life, you should be looking to the good things you have. You should, you know, try to spend 5 minutes every day being grateful for what you have. I certainly do. I realize how lucky I am to have the life I have, the wife I have, the family I have, the opportunities in life that I have, and to be able to drive something like this is kind of the icing on the cake. It's absolutely great, guys. Wherever you are out there, I'm gonna stop this now. Go in and have dinner with my family. I hope you enjoy this. I will probably have the opportunity to check out more cars going forward. Actually, I bought this car from Decken in Girona, which is a new car shop that is specialized in Porsche but has other nice sport cars as well, and I'm hoping to work together with them a little bit to try out other cars going forward. But if you are in the market for a sports car in Girona, check out Decken. I was really impressed by their service, and yeah, it's they have so many good looking cars. It's so fantastic. Alright, see you next time, guys. Bye bye.